Hey, I just wanted to make a quick video giving you a couple examples of how to do the questions from Skill L9, percent of change. You will see questions just like this on your test next week. So, it's good to be able to do these. Let's see here. So this first one, it's given me, you might have different questions. So I don't know. You probably won't be able to copy me exactly, but you can at least see me do a couple examples. And I'll use two different strategies you can see too. What is the percent change from 500,000 to 800,000? So one way you could do this is first by figuring out how much was the change, right? Like what did the numbers actually increase by? And in this case, that's the difference. Well, it's always the difference between the two numbers. 800,000 minus 500,000. I didn't need that comma there. 500,000 equals 300,000. So 300,000 is the actual amount of change. And when you talk about how much something is increasing or decreasing, you're always talking about it as a percent of the whole number or the original number, the number you had before it increased or decreased, which in this case, based on the wording of the question, is the 500,000. So if we can just represent 300,000, the amount that it changed, as a percent of 500,000, the original number, that's going to get us our answer, right? And this is really me just doing percent equals part divided by whole, right? I'm treating this number here as the part that I care about, and I've got my whole on the bottom of this division. Dividing these two big numbers is actually really easy because really the 100,000 part doesn't come out. There, it doesn't matter. The ratio here is really 3 to 5, which is going to equal 0.6. 3/5 is the same as 0.6, which is 60%. So this is a 60% increase. I'll show you a different way to do this one too. I'll do one more example. I'm going to use my teacher powers here to jump to when like the questions start to get a little harder. All right, this one says, oh, this is too easy. The percent decrease from 100 to 74, well, you're decreasing by 26, but it's out of 100. So 26 out of 100 is 26%. So that's not too challenging. Let's see if we can get a harder one. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna jump one more level, see if it gives me even harder ones, because these seem about the same. All right, so this is still kind of the same. I'll do one more. At least this one's an increase. All right, that's fine. I'll do this one. So what is the percent increase if you go from 200,000 to 500,000? So in this case, this is my whole or original number, which always represents 100%, right? So this is my 100% number. Geez, it looks really bad. All right, and then this is my new number that I get after the increase or decrease, and this is what we sometimes also refer to as the part. And we're trying to find a percent here, so we're going to use percent equals part divided by whole. And in the previous example, I showed you could subtract the two numbers and then just use the difference as your part. Another way you could do this is use the new number as your part. So in this case, it's the 500,000 divided by the original or whole number, which is 200,000. And just like when we were dividing on that previous question, since it's 100,000 on top and 100,000s on the bottom, the 100,000s part of these numbers are just going to sort of like cancel each other out or divide out to 1. So really, this is just a 5 to 2 ratio. 5 divided by 2 is the same as 2.5 or 2.5. So I mean, you could punch all these zeros into a calculator or whatever, but I promise you it should come out to 2.5. And if I move the decimal point 2 spaces to convert this to a percent, 1, 2, I create this empty gap here that has to be filled with a 0. And so this equals 250%. But this would be a wrong answer if you entered this. You have to think about something here. So in the first way I showed you, the first thing we did was we subtracted, right? because what you're essentially doing there is you're taking out the original value from from the calculation, right? We subtract out that original amount so that we really only wind up calculating the increase or the decrease. Well, here we used the whole new value that has the original 100% value like in it, right? 500,000 has the original 200,000 in it. And so this 250% says that 500,000 is 250% of 200,000. But we only care about the increase amount, the increase percent. And so what we have to do is subtract that original 100% that represented the 200,000 from this to see that the increase percent was 150%, not 250%. So there's two ways to do these types of questions. You can subtract first and then just use the difference as your part, and that's your answer. Or you can use the new value as your part, get that percent, but then you have to subtract the 100% at the end. Either way, you're gonna subtract somewhere in these to get rid of that whole original amount, either at the beginning or the end. All right. Hopefully that's enough to help you through these.